Today we have plenty of players playing abroad, of USA. But the most important thing is the culture, I think, that we saw in you, that to be desperate to come and be the priority, the national team. Mm-hmm. And maybe that gap was about to grow, maybe not thinking in this way. And that is a responsibility of us, that the people need to prioritize the national team. We were talking about Argentine player or Brazilian player or English player or Spanish player. They are desperate. Even Messi, even Neymar, even Mbappe for France. We were working with these guys, Harry Kane. These guys are desperate to go, to the national team. And for them, when they go, also the rest of the player, but they don't see if it's a friendly game, it's an official game, it's a World Cup, doesn't matter. Yeah. Because the possibility to defend one time more, your flag, your shirt, I think that is about to feel proud, about that. And that is the responsibility to us to translate.
Do want to remind you that the full interview goes live tomorrow, 6 a.m. Eastern Time on the Unfiltered podcast with Landon Donovan and Tim Howard. It'll be very interesting to hear a lot more from Pochettino than what we just heard. Anything jump out to you, Herc?
A lot. That's a very rich conversation from a coach who literally told his best player, don't worry about playing against the biggest rival in Guadalajara, go with Milan. And allowed him to go. We had Casey Keller here, and he would not stop talking about how can Pochettino do this. He doesn't understand what the rivalry is about. That's one. And the second is he's having a conversation about being desperate to play for your national team in front of two players who took sabbaticals. Both took sabbaticals, long sabbaticals. So I just think I'd love to hear the rest of the conversation, but that's the only thing that jumped out at me. So I really am very interested in hearing where this goes.
Ale?
Now, he mentioned Messi and Mbappe and Harry Kane, and of course, these are one-of-a-kind players, right? We're talking about a completely different level. Far higher level than even the best player for the United States, who we can all agree is Christian Pulisic. But nowhere near the level of Mbappe, Messi, and Harry Kane. And yet for those guys representing their country, I wouldn't say Mbappe so much because he has taken a few
liberties,
a few liberties and a few games off, or maybe has been pushed aside a little bit by Didier Deschamps. But in the case of Messi and the case of Harry Kane, and in fact, I'm not even going to take it to that level. I'm going to bring it a level below. Luis Diaz for Colombia. Luis Diaz goes into World Cup qualifiers. Now, he's playing at Liverpool, with all the expectations that it means to be a player for Liverpool, goes to Colombia, plays his World Cup qualifiers, and let me just say, physically, mentally, very exhausting to go and do World Cup qualifiers in South America. And people that haven't experienced it perhaps wouldn't appreciate how draining that experience is, and how draining it is to your body, how draining it is to your mind, to do World Cup qualifiers in South America for many different reasons: logistics, travel, fields, weather, everything put together, the whole package. It's very taxing. He goes, he plays 90 minutes in the first game, 90 minutes in the second game, then comes back and plays for Liverpool. And then 3 weeks later, a month later, when they have to go back, and the expectation is for Luis Diaz to go and play every game for Colombia and to go and score every game for Colombia, with the whole country of Colombia essentially depending on him and leaning on him to be that guy, with a whole lot more pressure than what exists here in this country, in the United States. You never, ever hear a player like Luis Diaz say, I'm not coming for Copa America, or I'm not coming for World Cup qualifier, or I'm not coming for this friendly. No. Where do I need to go? I'll go to the end of the world to play for my national team. And that connection that Pochettino is talking about is the one that troubles me. That it exists in different places, but doesn't seem to exist with the same sort of passion, with the same sort of commitment, with the same sort of strength in this country, within this generation. I don't want to talk about other generations. I'm talking about within this group. the message that Pochettino is sending, and I understand it wholeheartedly, is, man, this has to hurt. You not being part of the national team has to hurt, has to cut you deep. When you don't get the call up, when you're not part of the list, you have to feel it in your heart, in your soul, in your body. Every part of your body has to ache that you're not part of the national team. And I can guarantee, well, it should, and I can guarantee you that it's not quite the feeling for a lot of the players that are part of this pool.
Yeah.
It's cultural as well.
I mean, very, very different, at least in the U.S. when we talk about the U.S. women's national team. And I say that for a reason, because we will be live after the U.S. women's national team match tomorrow for Football W.
You made quite the connection there, Christina. Let me just say,
it's called,
quite the transition.
It's called transition.
Yeah, okay.
Ali Krieger, Jeff Kazouf. See you at 10 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+.